and I would sell probably 100 contracts there. So whatever. Oh shit! I guess I got to do this over because I did something over there. I had it open. So I would do this little guy right here at eight. I would go $8, a little conservative because I've already locked in the money I needed for the rest of the year, and I'd probably do 100 contracts over here. So I'd bring in another 2,200, and then I'd probably buy like 2,500 shares or something outright and sell cover calls at $9 so that I could get that capital appreciation potentially as well. And that's also bringing in 38 cents. So that's the equivalent of like buying these things at like 8.30 or so, and just start trying to build a position of maybe 5, eventually 10,000 shares, so that I could try to ride those up to like $11 or $12 by the end of the year, and I'm on my way to doubling that portion of the portfolio. So that's how I feel like I could get it done with TSL. What do you guys think? Am I crazy, or might I be onto something there with TSL? Because this is all based on my bull case with Tesla, because I feel like Tesla is a BD ETF on its own, and there's a lot of people who say that that's cringe, but that's just how I feel about it.
Well, the first one that I said that I would have liked to do it on was Tesla, but I didn't even think to go to TSLL. So yeah, I like it. The only thing I don't like about it is that you don't actually own the shares.
Yeah, well, there's always something when you're trying to do something that is out of the ordinary, if you will. Garcia, welcome to Wheelers. How are you?
Hey, what's up, guys? Yeah, good to be here. Doing pretty all right. I've been busy this past couple of weeks or so, on different spaces on Twitter, and been joining a couple of different pods and stuff. So it's, I feel like I just finished writing a book and I'm going on tour, talking about Palantir and stuff. But it's just kind of riding the wave, and I'm kind of having fun with it.
I hear you. Well, basically what we're doing here, Garcia, is the idea is you got $250,000 to work with, and you need to generate $7,500 a month to pay yourself. So rain or shine, you got to pull that $7,500. But let's just treat yourself the way that an investor would treat you if you were living, walking a mile in my shoes. They'll say things like, I'm going to give you this amount of capital to work with, but the fund needs to bring in, this amount of money, and you got to be putting me in shit that's going to double in 3 to 5 years. Because if you can't do that, I can double it myself in 6 or 7, and I don't need you. That's why I have a job, because I look them in the eye, I shake their hand, and I'm like, I can get it done for you in 3, hopefully 5 for sure. And they rock with me because I'm saving them a year on every double. And so far, been able to deliver, still got a job, right? That when I'm not able to deliver, I'm not going to have a job. That's the reality.
Yep.
Because, dude, they're going to double. They're going to do, you got to fucking boo and double every 6-7 years and not have to do shit, not pay anything except the little bullshit fees that VU charges, and so on and so forth. So they can do any run-of-the-mill ETF that's not IWM, and they're going to be able to get those. They're going to be able to get those returns. So who are you rocking with?
Man, I was thinking about it since seeing what the title was going to be and all. I would choose Tesla, but I wouldn't sleep nearly as comfortable at night. I would definitely stay up at night every once in a while, think about the relationship between Elon and China, or Elon and the Democrats and stuff like that. Like there's different factors at play, I guess, with Tesla, where even if all these other things are kind of hashing out, I think there's more points of, I guess I wouldn't say points of failure, but maybe points of delay or points of contention with Tesla. Whereas with Palantir, it's definitely a lot more cut and dry with the value that they present to customers, the money they save them, and all the verticals they get into. So whereas with Tesla, they're definitely more, like even Tesla themselves, they're more all in on FSD. Like they're banking on this. Like they're basically putting the future of their company on this, and the robotics as well. Yeah, I think I would choose Tesla, and it was just edging out Microsoft or Amazon for me. Like those other two would be, I would sleep a lot easier at night, but I don't know if I could deliver the double or the 7,500 a month in premiums with those two companies. I don't even know if I would be able to without getting assigned every single month. I don't know. Those are the kind of like the top three for me.
So
But
let's look at Tesla, because I was going to be Bill's choice, but what was your reservation on that, Bill?
The amount of contract, it's just too pricey. You would have had to tie up a lot for a few contracts.
What I don't like about that choice is if Tesla goes to like 150, you're going to be in a real big bind, babysitting those cash secured puts, and you no longer have the ability to make any money. Whereas my strategy, along with Bill's, I got the idea from him because he was first, is we're wrapping up a big portion of our money up front by just doing the backstop trades with a lot of the money. That's kind of the. I'm just saying, so I'll run the numbers here in a little bit. I just got to do the timestamp for you real quick, Garcia. That way, people are saying that they're getting value out of these timestamps whenever they want to go back and rewatch these things. So let's just do the math. What would you pick? Are you talking weeklies, monthlies? Like how are you looking to do it?
Yeah, I think weeklies. I think every 2 to 3 weeks, I think is what I would run with to kind of give myself some leeway with having to roll if I have to.
So what strike are you looking? What delta are you looking at? Like what are you thinking here? Like 35 delta or 195?
Yeah, I would think between 190 or 195 is where I would have to start with. But I mean, I guess in my where I guess if I'm going based off of the way I like to manage, I guess my stock with, let's say with Palantir, is I don't really sell cash secured puts to get assigned on the stock. Like if I think Tesla is going to be going up in the longer term, in my opinion, I think it has a much higher chance of going up than, or make a higher high than a higher, lower low from.
Right.
I think last Monday that big panic of the yen and all that, I think that kind of marked like the bottom for the next couple of months. So I would probably just start with buying the shares outright and then selling covered calls.
This is on Tesla?
Yeah.
Okay, so pretend you own the shares. So are you talking about going full port and buying 250,000 more?
Probably like 150, and then the other 100. I mean, that's a good idea as far as the backstop trade. Kind of lock up some of the capital and get paid up front for a really good amount of rate of return over that year. But I would probably split it up around 150 in shares and 100 and I would say 100 in just a backstop trade.
Yeah, so we can look at the backstop trade first, because that's going to be about 5 or 6 contracts. If you go over here, there's money there. Would you do them like right in this area, in 190? What are you thinking?
Probably the 200. I think there's a lot more liquidity on the 200 strike.
30. Wow, look at all those crackheads, dude. Jesus.
Yeah.
Tesla's like crack avenue, dude. This is crazy. This is crazy. So you'd be able to do maybe 5 of those. That's $100,000, I believe.
Yeah.
No, that's more than that, dude. How is that possible?
Oh, is it the 100?
20,000 times 5. Isn't that 100, guys? Oh, it's because I have other ones open already.
Yeah.
I have some other ones open. I was like, dude, what happened? I don't know how to do math anymore. Shit. My bad.
What was Dallas and Bill? What were your guys' choice? Or have you guys gone yet?
Yeah, they have.
Yeah, mine was DraftKings, and then my other one was going to be Shopify.
Shopify, nice.
But
did the numbers kind of make sense with DraftKings?
So you tie up $100,000, you make 12,000. So it's 12%. I mean, it's okay. It's not it's okay, but you're not really getting a whole lot there.
Yeah, it's not
And,
that
and
not
then
that good.
you're tying up a shitload of capital. So that only pays you for not even 2 months. You follow me? Because you're
No,
going to be withdrawing $15,000 every month. Or I'm sorry.
how would it look? How would it look expiring in June, 2026, and then going up in strike?
So like playing like in the money? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
I think you'd be, and then what, doing like a 215? What are you thinking?
Probably like 220 or like pretty aggressive, just because as far as where I think really things are gonna go over the next year or so.
Cool. You're tying up 110, but now you're tying it up for almost a year, and
That's
you're getting 22,000. So that's barely 3 months of your pay.
Yep.
See, what makes this challenge hard is not a lot of people consider that money has to come out of the account at some point.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like that's the thing that makes this very difficult.
Yeah.
And that is another element that my channel is going to be introducing. That's why I wanted to have this pod, because here in about 6 months or so, y'all are going to also see that withdrawals is a part of this business, right? Because gotta live. So that's going to be another element that I'm always going to have to consider, and it really factors into the decision making and how you how on top of your liquidity you have to be. Because I have made some mistakes where a withdrawal would need to happen, but I was so sure on that $4 cash I'm going to put on Neo, no way it was going to go against me, and now I'm stuck, and I got to roll that damn thing. And then you're rolling it for a fraction of what you made on the initial. That's the other part that we don't really talk about. Rolling really screws up your ROI. And now I can't withdraw because those funds are tied up for an extra month or two, waiting for that trade to pin out. So the first trade, whenever you get a project like this, is one of the most important trades, so that you're not playing from behind the 8 ball. So I would caution you on a backstop trade in Tesla. Bill and Dallas, y'all can chime in. I just don't think it pays enough. In my opinion, I just don't think that you're getting paid enough, and you're tying up your very precious asset called your capital. So I just think it's tough. Me personally, if I had to play Tesla, I don't think it's a good contender here. If it was at like 175, it'd be a hell of a contender in my mind. I would probably play very short dated cash and puts at the money, and I would look to buy 500 shares or something like that, and play them
along the way.
Play them for capital appreciation of like $5 or $10, and let the shares get called away so that I can build the bankroll. And I would play for that October. When's Robotaxi? Help me out. When's Robotaxi?
We got moved to 1010, right?
In
It was
October,
10. Yeah.
I'm sorry?
10.
It went from 1010 now.
It was 8.8 or some shit, right? Was that a thing or no?
Yep.
So it was 8.8 and now it's 10.10. So I would play for hopefully a Robotaxi extravaganza. Maybe the market gets a little irrational. You can ride that irrational wave up $20 or $30 on 500, maybe even. I mean, how many shares can you afford at $200? Help me out, guys. Maybe 500. Is that half your bankroll already? Yeah, these shares are expensive, right? When you put a number to it like that. I would play it for $5, $10, $15, $20 of capital appreciation. Then Tesla makes sense. Sell very aggressive covered calls, and I wouldn't even defend them. Like I'd be okay letting them get called away. And now you've got 275,000 to work with, and I pivot to another stock if Tesla got away from me. Like I wouldn't even get stuck with it, because the last thing that I would do in an exercise like this is I'm not going to roll my covered call to defend my shares just to have those shares tumble down, and it really screws up the whole program for me.
Yep.
So just because you started with one stock doesn't mean that you have to end with that stock. So I think it's very important the teaching segment for you guys is, dude, I full ported and done stupid shit, but it's situational. And it's like, I've already got my other 2 or 3 plays lined up. I've got my draft team that Dallas got me super excited about. I got my penalty. I've got a handful of stocks that I'm excited about. If this one gets away from me, because I can't get married to the stock, I have to get married to the objective. What is the objective here? I need to get paid the $7,500. I got to position this portfolio for a double. If I can lock in a quick $25,000, $30,000 on Tesla, and that all happened in 30 to 45 days, I shouldn't really be angry about that.
And right now I'm checking too, and I'm checking how much we could get. Like, let's say if we went full port on Tesla, and we would be able to sell 12 contracts,
Right?
and selling 12 covered calls at August 30th expiration at 210, it'll pay us like 5,700.
Right, and then you potentially have $10 of capital appreciation.
Yep.
On,
that's
2,000 shares.
16 days. That's 2 weeks, so that's not bad. If you repeat that twice a month, obviously we wouldn't close it for pennies. We'd probably buy it back like at maybe, I don't know, 60, 70, 80% and repeat the process. I think, I don't know, it just seems like we're selling at a 210 strike.
So what does this look like? What does this look like? When is it over here? October,
10-10.
So whatever you bought these shares and you sold these you agree to sell them at 210, that brings you in. That's a lot of money right there. $1,000 contract, right?
TJ,
Go ahead.
I mean, if we're just sticking to Tesla, why don't you do a backstop trade and then buy leaps?
I mean,
You can live off the money for a little while, and then but you're hoping to get out on the 10-10. I'm not saying I would do this, by the way. I'm just saying if you're going to play a short term play, I would buy leaps with money I got from a backstop trade or something.
Yeah. So I went through this exercise with the guy who's a better wheeler than I am. He's just not on YouTube. And if it was his exercise, what he would do is he would buy $150,000 worth of leaps, and he would sell covered calls against those leaps, because now he's bringing in covered call money, but only tying up 40% of the capital.
Yep.
And he's qualified for all that capital appreciation.
Yep.
And he was like, "That's how you double a portfolio quickly."
And so what's he doing with the other 100,000? So he said it was 150 on leaps, and the other 100.
The other 100 he'd sell short dated cash secured puts on half of it, buy the shares outright as well.
With the 100, okay.
Right. And then he's like, just do the math. You'll kill it. Because now, how many covered calls are you able to sell? Let's do the exercise, right? So let's buy $150,000 worth of leaps if we want to stick here with Tesla, and we go over there to January of 2026, give ourselves plenty of time. And you do them over here probably like in the 175 range. That's the 80 delta that we're looking for. So you're probably going to be able to do something like maybe 50 contracts. Can't be right. 50 contracts. No, that's only going to cost.
No, you do more. I guess you do 100.
Yeah, so
you have multiple trades.
No, that ain't right. Hold on, I got it all screwed up here. Hold on. So I go trade options, buy a call, January of 2026. I buy them at like 175. That's an 80 delta. No, that isn't an 80. So I got to do them like at 170. So probably like right here. Yeah, so we'll just go like right here. And then that's going to be probably, what is that? It's got to be more than 100 contracts, right? Maybe like 125. No, that can't be right. 50 contracts. Damn, it doesn't even buy you that many, does it? Is that 22 contracts? Is that right? Yeah, so 22 contracts. There'll be a little less than that. So we wouldn't pay 71.35. It would be like 70. So you have 22 covered calls now that you can sell. So you're at 154,000, and you essentially need Tesla to go to, what is that on the math, guys? Like 240, something like that. That's your break even. And then now you're selling covered calls. Now you're selling covered calls a couple weeks at a time or something like that. Because now you got to go bring in money, right? You got 22 of these bad boys that you can sell now.
And if you
go ahead.
With the, if you also have a little bit of additional capital in there too, you can also do some put credit spreads.
Yeah, that'd be real good. So you go 22 contracts. Look at that, 9 days out, and you're already bringing in $6,200 in premiums on covered calls. That's why he's a little better at it than I am, right? Because you see the difference fundamentally between him and I is I end my strategy by buying leaps. He starts his strategy by buying leaps. Like for me, it's a button-up play. For him, that's the way every play starts. Because leaps pays you the most amount of money. I mean, if shit goes to the moon, you're going to make a lot of money. You got time for it to work out as well. Like buying calls is the most lucrative thing you can do if the shit goes up and to the right. So if you're that bullish on the stock, like why are you messing around with cash secured puts and covered calls? Like, are you doing that whole deal, buying the shares outright that takes too much capital? Buy the damn leaps. You're going to get the same covered call premium as you would as you own the shares already. And then hopefully the leaps will print for you. That's your double. And then you're managing covered calls along your way. That's your cash flow. And anything else, you're wheeling with that amount of money, probably only $50,000 to $75,000 worth on wheeling them. And this guy's been getting like about 30 to 40% a year. I've known him going on 5 years now, and he just hits it like clockwork. And that's his strategy. Like that's his goal. You buy the leaps, you sell the covered calls against those leaps, and then you figure out how many shares do you really want to own, because that's capital intensive. So he's not a big fan of owning a bunch of shares. He's a real big fan of owning a bunch of leaps. You can roll those damn leaps as well. No different than rolling your shares, right? Like than rolling regular cash puts and covered calls, same shit. Except this one's going to cost you money for sure when you roll. And that's what he does, and he crushes it because he's not paying for the house up front. He's only buying these contracts to agree to buy the house later on, and he never exercises his leaps. He flips the contract, and really works for him. I've been trying to convince myself to make it a more integral part of the strategy. The reason that I can't get there is because shares typically don't expire. And at some point, I want to have something that I can walk away from, if that makes sense. Whereas he's going to be working. I think he's going on 70 years old, and there's no stopping in sight for him.
I like the strategy. I don't like the strategy if you have 250K and you're planning on living off it.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's too risky.
Well, I mean, again, it's got to be a super high conviction play. I think that's the moral of the story here is this is obviously not anything advisable, but it's exactly what I do when I have $1 million from a client in the hedge fund. It's 4 positions and it's 250,000 each. And that's kind of what it looks like. The only difference is I did it 4 times over, but it's really the same risk profile if you think about it. Because in my world with $1 million, the client's looking for $30,000 a month. And if I can't deliver that, then we're not a match, because that's the reputation that I've created for myself. So I kind of become a victim of my success. So that's why, like, people are like, hey, can I be a client? I'm like, no, I don't want any more pressure. Like, I got enough with this shit that I have to work with now. And it's like, you can't go from, oh, I'll get you 30 to now I'll get you 20, because things have changed. People don't want to hear that shit. So what do you
Yeah,
think? Be a hedge
you're gonna
fund
have to have a serious conversation with your clients because when you think about it, most hedge funds actually underperform the market. If you're pulling in 20%,
Since I started, dude, we're at 27%.
yeah,
Annual.
I mean, if you're pulling somewhere between 20-30%, they're going to have to get over getting 20% in a year if that's a bad year. You're going to have to call them on it at some point.
I'll just terminate the fund when I can't do it anymore. Because the new one that I'm starting, I'm not setting that example. Like I'm saying that on $1 million, I'm gonna get you 20. I mean, to just give myself room to pay myself more as well. Because I give them so much because I was just trying to get my name out there, right? To get clients. I was willing to like practically do it for free to a certain extent. I kind of like shot myself in the foot now. And it's like everybody wants the grandfather shit, right? Like that. And I'm like, no, dude, that deal is not available anymore if you're not already a client. That shit. So it's tough, man. You can be a victim of your own success in this business, guys. Anyway, any last words? I don't want to drag this one out too much. Garcia, talk to everybody. Let them know what's going on. I'm going to direct them to your YouTube channel here in a little bit. I know you're approaching 1,000 subscribers here really soon.
Yeah, it looks like going doing the rounds, on YouTube channels and stuff. It's been helping out. Let's see, I think it's a 820 or 800. But yeah, I mean my YouTube channel, it's kind of it's nothing crazy. I just kind of go over like the portfolio update every day. If you don't follow me on Twitter, I kind of show like the posts that I post throughout the day. And that, just kind of keep it simple. I just kind of keep the screenshots very, very simple. I thought I deleted the first video. Oh well. So I recorded the first video and the audio was off, and I almost didn't record today. I forgot to turn on the mic for that video.
But, a good-looking little kid here. That's your son, right?
Yeah, that's my son. Yeah, when we first moved to Arkansas, he was kind of playing around in the little creek.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was nice. But
I saw they invited you on Palantir Weekly, and you were on with like 5 other guys. That was pretty awesome.
Dude, that was cool. Like it's and I definitely don't consider myself like a great analyst or I don't know, just someone who knows like so much about the company. But I'm just grateful to kind of be on the ride, to riding the wave and with good people, good company, and I'm just kind of going with it right now. Let's see. Yeah, I feel like the only thing I want people to kind of learn from me or my journey in investing is just once you develop your own conviction on your own company, the company that you're trading, is to just kind of stick with it. Just stick to the strategy that's working. Don't get distracted with the next shiny object or the next hype stock, and just keep at it. But yeah, it's a portfolio's been kind of going up and to the right, and it's pretty exciting, like hitting all-time highs right now.
Yeah, that is super awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And then over here we got Dallas Matthew sitting on 369 subscribers. He's already pumped out 54 videos along with those bulging biceps on his his little wallpaper page there.
That's good.
A little subtle flex. Talk to us about your journey on YouTube so far, Dallas. I mean, is it what you expected, or did you kind of have the mindset that I did? Like, I'll just show kind of like the big portfolio and what I'm doing, and the subscribers are just gonna like flock to me because I'm full transparency. The Invest with Henry's show, but they don't really show. Stockmo don't show shit. He's got a lot of subscribers. Paul talks about buying stocks all the time, but nothing's ever in his fucking price range. And when it is, it seems to go down. I mean, it's like, like I'm talking about everything money. Paul Gabriel, shout out to him. He's getting married this week. Congratulations. Did you think it was going to be easier than it is?
I don't know that I thought it would be easier. I think I'm surprised how much people like. I'd rather have a small army that just watches every video.
Agreed.
Because those are loyal people that are going to like really stick with you and like be more of a community. it really does surprise me though how the videos that really do well are just like your how to do's, and they're
Great.
so basic, and they just get like they just redo the video from 2023, put 2024 on there, and like how to make 10,000 a month selling options. You know, like those are the videos that really do well. And you understand why, because most people are beginners, but there's not too much value in those types of video once you understand the fundamentals of trading. And so I think being on like the first wave of transparency, you know, it's going to blow up eventually. And you just want to have that small army that stuck with you when you were, because it becomes like a point of like escape velocity. Like for a while you couldn't get to like 1,000, and then 1,000 to 2,000 was another struggle, and then from like 2 to 5 you've gone pretty quick.
Right.
And if you look at, I mean, you put way more hours in to it than I do, but I think the next 12 months, once people see, I think my portfolio is going to have a 7-figure number in front of it in the next 12 months. So people are going to like to see that.
I think the one thing that I will say about my journey, and I think that maybe you guys can attest as well, please like and subscribe Dallas and Garcia's videos, guys. That'll be really, really awesome. Want to get them, help get them to 1,000 subscribers. And then there's also 4,000 hours of watch time that you got to hit within a calendar year so they get monetized eventually. The one thing that I've noticed, and it's really kind of annoying, is very catchy, unrealistic thumbnails seem to really get a lot of views. Like, or it draws attention. Like, you know, shout out to Investor Henry, retire on 250,000 Palantir wheel strategy or some shit like that. So he's got a real catchy number, make 10,000, 15,000 a month. He's got Palantir, a very hot stock, and it makes you want to push the button. So I think the one thing that I didn't realize that YouTube was so difficult on YouTube is forget about showing people that you know how to make money. People need to want to like click the thumbnail to begin with, and you have to have, you know, that engaging personality, and you got to like show them that you still remember what it's like on your day one, if that makes sense. So I'm gonna have to like put out like some how to sell a secured put, how to sell a covered call, because going to your point, Dallas, I have my 100 to 200 ride or dies on this channel. Like I see them daily on the chat. They're the fucking wrench squad, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like we've created that on this channel. But it's like if I am ever going to like really grow the audience even more so, never forget about the Rent Squad. Wouldn't be here without them. But I kind of remember what it's like to be day one.
I think
I'm saying it's hard, right? As a content creator, if we want to use that term, it's
I think you need to like get with someone on Fiverr or whatever, something like that, to start making your thumbnails professionally. Because as sad as it is, that's what people see. And then once you have your credibility with transparency and knowledge, then they're a subscriber forever. I think it frustrates me more than anything that people don't see through the same thumbnails and titles. Like every face is like, you know, like sell everything, it's over. And like they know that they didn't sell everything. They know it's not over, and they still click it, you know, which is frustrating because I think even Henry talked about it. I actually stopped watching his videos a lot recently because it is so much regurgitated information. I used to watch like I like to really watch someone's like every video to see their ups and downs and how they handle things. But you know, it's so much regurgitation of information. But he was saying like, sorry guys, I kind of have to clickbait you guys to get you to click on it. That guy that covers Tesla, Farzad, he did the same thing. He did a whole video like sorry, I have to clickbait you guys, but it's YouTube punishes us creators for not, for if we don't have engaging thumbnails and stuff like that. And I guess that's the other side of it. But like, unless YouTube's actually paying me, which they're not, I don't really care. Like, I don't want to clickbait people. That's why I try to be like literally what this video is about, like all my titles.
Yeah, I try to put on the title, like if there's like a big trade that I did, I try to make it as part of the title so that they know, hey, bought 30,000 shares of SoFi today, or in this case, 20,000 shares of Riot, etc. So they can like know, like like what's going to be like the crescendo, if you will. And then now recently, I started doing the timestamps. I've gotten a lot of positive feedback on that because the video drags a couple of hours. Sometimes they do. They can go and watch the stuff that's more interesting to them. Like maybe people don't want to listen to my quotes, especially when I'm doing like a segment on like the Bible or whatever. And it's so they'll have that prerogative, right, to watch it or not watch it after the fact, if that makes sense. Whereas before, I would only like cater to the live audience. I wouldn't think about the people that are going to watch it as a video after the fact, if that makes sense. So I'm just trying to be a little more cognizant of that. What do you think, Bill? I mean, you don't have a YouTube channel, but do you have suggestions for us that aspire to I mean, I don't know how big they want to get their channels, but I aspire to have like 10,000 subscribers one day. And if my wife allows me to stay on this platform, I do see a day where I would have 100,000 subscribers and still be rocking with the Red Squad. You know what I'm saying? Because like loyalty is a big thing to me as a person in general, and I wouldn't treat YouTube any differently.
I would say for Dallas, I think maybe if it's just once a week, do a live. I think you'd be surprised at the engagement. Like I'm more likely to hop on a live and just kind of watch what's going on. I do watch your videos now, but it's for me it's just a little bit I guess less engaging. Like if I'm in there getting advice and giving feedback and getting like you're kind of giving some opinions. Maybe it'll just help you build like that community you're looking for. Because right now it's just like you give good information, but it's not. It's not really a community type of thing. But if that's what you're looking for, and then you can probably grow from there. Garcia, I mean, it seems like you're just kind of everywhere now. So I don't know if I could give you any advice. I'm not sure. And TJ, maybe for you, just some. I don't know if there's a way to categorize between like a tutorial video and kind of just your normal, what you have going on. But maybe if there was a way that you can categorize like tutorial videos and people can just go there for like the quick clips and then you can just kind of repost them out there just to get the clicks type of thing.
So I used to have like videos like how to sell a cash put, how to sell a covered call in a minute or less. What is a cash put in a minute or less? How to roll in a minute or less. So if I look at my analytics, dude, a lot of my viewers and subscribers come from shorts, and I don't really make shorts unless I just happen to make a real quick trade and get a wild hair and post it. Alex repurposes all the material and does the shorts, the clips, the videos for me. So shout out to Alex because he's extremely instrumental for that. Just like Bill and Troy were with the tracker. Because without those things, those are such valuable tools for me. Like Alex did, that kid has been an absolute godsend. An absolute godsend for me. I've met him in person a handful of times already, and I want to treat his father to lunch as well. I already treated Alex and his girlfriend to lunch. They're at the barbecue restaurant and stuff. So someone that I'm fostering a relationship with because he's just been very, very helpful to me. And he came in and set up my TVs when we moved into the house. I was like ready to yank these damn things off the wall. I got no patience, bro. Like the patience of Job. My name ain't Job. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't have that kind of patience. I missed that Sunday school episode. So it's one of those things. But all in all, Garcia, Dallas, are y'all looking to like stay on YouTube for a while, or I feel like you're more. I feel like you got a bigger presence on X. Garcia, do you enjoy X more than YouTube, or like where are you at between the two?
I would say I do. I as far as like with engaging with different people, different investors, and I think the posts. I feel like I think because I've grown a lot quicker on X since last year. I think because this time last year I had like maybe a couple hundred followers. I only created the account again to follow the Finance Junkies on Twitter, and once I started engaging with them, and I found other like-minded investors, and from there it really just started taking off. I felt like it was just kind of the friendships that I had, with Amit, with you, and with other investors, other people that I've met along the way. Like I feel like I've just been very, very blessed, to be surrounded by already great people and kind of like riding the wave in a way. Like I do feel like it's not because my account is so like incredible or so like so inspiring, I guess, that that I am where I am at right now. So like all in all, like I do feel pretty grateful about it. Like tomorrow I'm hosting spaces on Twitter with Adam. He goes by GoCarp on Twitter, and this guy, he is like one of the people on Twitter, or one of the people that knows about the defense side of Palantir, like out of anyone that I know. This guy does due diligence like no other. Like this guy will tell you all about Project Maven, Project Convergence, Lynchpin, like all these massive contracts that are coming down the pipeline for Palantir over the next couple of months. Like with Titan, like this guy was talking about it last year. He was talking about how big of a deal Titan is going to be, and boom, they get the contract. He was talking about Project Maven that Google had dropped years ago. Boom, Palantir picked it up. So tomorrow we're going to be talking about I don't know if it's a project or if it's going to be a program, JADS2, which is the Department of Defense. They want to have a heads-up display on everything that's going around the globe with the different militaries branches of the U.S.
Right.
So if you guys are willing to tune in, or if you guys have any questions about it too, send me a message or drop it in the comments. That way I can ask him for you guys if you guys have any questions about it, because this guy's like a wealth of knowledge when it comes to Palantir. So, but I think it's just me being blessed to have like the connections the connections that I've made, with people that I consider friends. I think have really been helping out, the growth. But yeah, with YouTube, it's just recording the screen recording and talking into the phone, doing the updates, and kind of like recycling the content that I posted on Twitter and putting it on YouTube. So I definitely feel that the community is a lot stronger on Twitter right now. But I definitely enjoy the community that's growing right now on YouTube. There's people that are watching me right now that are commenting on the channel. Like there's Carla, Trading 101. So thank you guys for tuning in.
Absolutely. Hey, do you know how to do surveys on Twitter yet, or no?
Yeah.
Not on Twitter. I'm talking about on this thing.
On YouTube?
Polls?
Yeah.
Polls?
Oh.
Yeah, poll surveys.
Yeah. You know what? I don't think I have. Because I don't know if it's because you have to. Well, no, because I know Amit does it, and I think he uses.
Yeah, and he does it.
Right?
I've been meaning to ask him, and Carlos told me how to do it the other day, but I don't know how to do it.
I'm wondering. I think you might have to have a separate window or a separate device open with your live stream, and then do the survey through your YouTube app or the YouTube window, not through StreamYard, because I think you get different options when you're actually on the app itself. So maybe it's that, because I've seen sometimes like pictures that they take of their setup, and they have like 2-3 different devices. They have their main screen, they have a tablet, or they have a phone on the side. That's all. Like right now, I actually have the phone with the live stream right now. I know it's a little blurry, but
Yeah.
that way I can engage with the live stream on your channel, TJ, And then on the StreamYard, I can respond to someone who is on my channel watching the stream as well.
Yeah, the funniest post I got on. I want to do this segment. I do it regularly. It's called my tweet tard of the day, like my Twitter retard. So I always like to signal someone out. So I had one. I posted like, "How did your portfolio do today?" And I just screenshot it. I just want to. I knew everybody was up. But it was a great day yesterday. And this one guy posted nice Photoshop. And dude, the Twitter army chimed in like, dude, he literally goes live almost every day. That's like, I'm the best Photoshopper in the world. You know what I'm saying? If I can pull that off on Robinhood's mainframe or however that shit works out. Like that's high level hacking right there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I was like, so you're officially like the tweet tard of the day, bro. Anyway, not to signal him out, but y'all can go find the tweet. Y'all will know what I'm talking about. And he literally did a repost and like called me out on it or something like that. And then people like chimed in. This one guy's like, "Hey, read the comments." You'll like roll on the floor laughing or something like that. So I think going to sleep tonight, I'm gonna like my wife's gonna hear me giggling, and I'm gonna be reading all of those comments of him roasting me or something. But anyway, I want to do a poll. We'll do a verbal poll. Fair enough. How would y'all like a Wheelers episode with a couple of successful people in real estate versus a couple of Wheelers? And we have the same $250,000 to invest. What's going to make you the most amount of money with the least amount of stress? Is it doing the rental property thing? Because Bill can chime in on both sides of the fence. And I played that game as well. Dallas has a little experience with real estate, so I feel like you can kind of go on both sides of the fence as well on this one.
My answer might shock you.
Yeah, I'm saying my answer might shock you too, because I'm very indecisive about it. Because there's one thing about, my beloved God is he ain't making any more dirt that I'm aware of. You know what I mean? Like, in fact, he's making more water, right? Because there's like cities like San Francisco and Venice, they're all going to get swallowed up somehow is how the story goes. So it was like, once you got like that piece of land, it theoretically becomes more valuable over time, right? Like, I don't know historically if there's any hot spots in real estate that don't go up and to the right over time. Like, that's like a surefire way in my parents' generation and in my grandparents' generation where people lucked into wealth just by buying a house and doing nothing else. They look up and they're like, holy shit, I'm sitting on 100,000 or $1 million or 2 million, whatever the case may be. That's how a lot of Californians came to Texas and probably other states as well, as they go sell their fucking shack for $2 or $3 million or 800,000 in Torrance, and they go live in the friggin' Dominion in San Antonio. Dude, it happens. Like, it happens. So I feel like I've been very hypercritical of the real estate arena, and there's a reason for that. It's because throughout my life, I wasn't really in a position to participate in the real estate arena because I didn't have the capital, I didn't have the credit, and I didn't have the connections. Because you need those 3 C's to succeed in real estate. Trust me. You need capital, you need connections, you need capital. Bill, call me a liar. You're in real estate a little bit. Like, you need those things, right, to make it happen. And you need to go find a decent deal so you don't lose your ass off, right? Because in real estate, you make your money when you buy. You realize it when you sell. It's like anything else. So I'd like to have an honest discussion. This isn't like, hey, my girlfriend's prettier than your girlfriend. Nothing like that. But like, see if they can make a compelling argument so that maybe we should consider pulling capital together and going doing a real estate investment trust or something. Like there might be something there down the road. You know what I mean? Like instead of like knocking industries, maybe we can learn something from these professionals and we can go dabble in their world. Maybe we can teach them something and they can dabble in our world versus beating each other up. Let's try to lift each other up. Like in my mind, what do y'all think about participating in the Wheelers episode? Because I know enough real estate professionals that might partake. And maybe you guys will know one or two that might come in, or I know that we have like the Maria Powell's of the world. She's in real estate, so she sells options. She could be someone that could really add value to the conversation. What do you guys think? And then you guys in the chat as well. What do you guys think?
I mean, I think it's a good conversation to have.
What are your thoughts, real quick? What's your 30-minute thought on real estate versus selling options? Because it's the same concept.
30 second. I've been on here a while. I don't know if I can do a 30-minute one, but 30 seconds.
30 seconds.
I think it's a good way to start if you want to build wealth and you can get enough capital, to get your own home or get one rental property and really learn and build some wealth, especially if you're not savvy in the stock market. There's a lot of people that just don't have any idea about the stock market. So I think it's a great option. I also think it's a very good option when you start to have a lot more money. A lot of the richest people that I know, they use the term parking wealth. So, they need to be diversified. They need to have, their money in various places. So it's, real estate is, it's a great investment. I'm just not sure if I had $1 million and I wanted to be able to live off of it. If real estate's the place to be, it's definitely not. That being said, I have my own home. I have rental. It could be a great investment. I just wouldn't, I wouldn't try to, retire off of.
But what about the Grant Cardone theory of with $1 million, you can probably control 15 to 20 doors, and wouldn't 15 to 20 doors be sufficient enough positive cash flow to live off of? I don't know the answer to that. I'm just saying, is that not enough, or with $1 million you can't go buy an apartment community like finance?
Yeah, I mean you could go that route, but
with $1 million,
the return
you're not getting more than 5 or 6 doors for $1 million.
Well, I think a lot of that depends on the part of the country, though, because the difference between buying or selling options and stocks is you gotta pay up front, right? But in real estate, financing is a big thing. That's why credit is such a important thing. I went to this, I think it was Charles Whitney or Russ Whitney, some Whitney dude back in the early 2000s, and it was like, the one thing you need if you want to be in this business, you need to have a 750 credit score. Go talk to those people in the corner as like a credit repair agency, and they would look at your situation and be like, we need to get you on this path within the next 6 months to a year. You're not going to be able to do it in this industry. This was before the buy houses with other people's money and like all the wholesaling and all the do Airbnb, even if you don't own a home, and all that crazy shit happened. Like, so it was like, okay, shit, my credit's not that good. How am I going to get it there? And that became like the first big hurdle for me. And then finally I got there, but then I wasn't even interested in real estate anymore. So it was just one of those things. But
my opinion is, if you've had a property for a decent amount of time where it's increased in value and maybe you put a little money into it, the real benefit in real estate is you can treat it as a bank. You can cash out, refinance for every penny that you ever put into it. You essentially own a house that can generate profit with no money in it at that point. You can take that cash, bring it back home to yourself, and then you can sell puts, calls for premium at that point. But you still own an asset. So, but you have to put the time in. You have to put the capital up front, put the time in, get the house, let it increase in price, cash out, refinance, take every penny out that you've ever put into it, and then you're golden because you still have the asset.
I guess I'm just a little, I mean, again, we've only been in this house for a short time, but there's already been a couple of, expensive repairs. Like there was a spray foam thing in the attic. There was a freaking tankless water heater, a couple grand. It's like, dude, the shit adds up like super, super quickly depending on your price range of the house. And I'm like, so how does that work when somebody goes in there and, minimum it's going to be carpet, it's going to be paint, it's going to be, fixing little shit because renters don't really take care of your stuff like a homeowner would in most cases. So where does that get factored into this little equation of? And then I look at people all the time and they got like a $250,000 home in San Antonio and their positive cash flow is like $200 a month. And I'm like, yo, dude, you could be making $6, $7, $8 in the stock market, but they're really in it for like 20 or 30,000 out of pocket. So that's a little different, right? I'm just saying, if you want to compare what they're actually their capital outlay versus what we are, you can control a $250,000, $300,000 house for 10, 20, 30 grand. And they're creating, cash flow with that. And so if you look at it tit for tat, it's very comparable to what we do in the stock market.
Yeah. Well, I would say this, it used to be the 1% rule was kind of the, you want to get 1% of the value of the house as your rental payment each month. And that is, unless you're getting a multifamily home, I don't even think that rule applies anymore. I think it's more of like the 0.75 rule. So just think about that. If you have like a $200,000 home, even if you got 1%, right, you're looking at $2,000 a month. And you're not even, but that's just in rent coming in. That doesn't include all the money going out. So you're paying for the mortgage. You're going to have some reserves for your maintenance and stuff like that. So when I say there's no possible way that you're going to generate the same amount of cash flow from a rental property, I'm telling you right now, there's no possible way.
Gotcha.
But there are tax benefits. There's other things. There's other benefits.
Yeah.
But it's not going to happen. No one will convince me that it will.
I hear you. Dallas, what do you think in a couple of minutes? Because my wife already did the little to me.
Yeah, I mean we're about an hour over. I got a pretty. I just want to tell my experience with that, which is definitely not a couple minutes long, but everything Bill said is true. 1% rule definitely is a great rule of thumb. If I was like just starting off. Yep, that's what I did. House hack, 4-bedroom. I mean, a 4-unit.
I ain't doing an episode of Real World. No way, dude.
That's what I did, man. That's what I did. And yeah, I can tell the whole story one day. But if I only had, let's say, I mean, just look at the stats of like how much the average American has. Let's just say 10,000 is more than most people have. So let's say you're in your 20s and you got 10 grand. Are you going to, being that you're brand new to either real estate or stocks, what are you going to do? Put that in S&P 500 and hope that you make $800 on your 10,000? Or are you going to come on YouTube and search small cap stocks and come upon SoFi and put all your 10 grand? So for me, all day, I would look to get into real estate with that 10 grand because 10 grand can get you 250 grand worth of assets.
Right.
Just with the down payment. So you can
control like with the FHA loan, what you're saying is true.
Yeah, which is what I did. And then that turned into a massive profit. And then I took that and rolled that big lump sum into the stock market. And now it's much easier to wheel and deal,
But Dallas, that was with your primary residence, right?
Well, you can get up to 4 units and still consider it primary residence. Once you hit 5, it's considered commercial. So you can technically get a 4-unit building, rent 3 and stay in 1, and you only have to stay in it for 1 year in order to satisfy that loan. And then you can move out. Now you got 4 rental units, and then you can go get whatever house you want. Not like a mansion or something, but that's definitely in the cash flow because my mortgage. So I bought this in 2020. My mortgage was $1,780, and the rents were $5,000 because I had 4 units and they were each, 5,000 divided by 4, what, 1,250.
So
So
you bought a fourplex, guys. I was under the impression that you bought a 4-bedroom house and
No.
everybody was living under the same roof, so to speak.
no, I bought a fourplex, lived in
Okay, that
one,
makes more sense.
rented the other 3, so I was living for free, and then you can sell it after 1 year, and now you replace your unit with a fourth renter, and so you live. Everyone's biggest expense is their house, so if you want to take that out, pretty much house hacking is the only way. But it went up in value so much that I ended up selling it. So
Yeah, and you kind of did it the right way. I kind of alluded to that. I said unless you're going to go into a multifamily, it's not going to
Yeah.
work. That was definitely.
But even like you're right, even now, only 4 years later, that same house is double.
Mhm.
I sold it for double.
Yeah,
So
that 1% rule is kind of going out the window now.
oh yeah.
What
But
about you, Garcia? Do you have any experience in real estate?
Nope. No, me and my wife, we saved up quite a bit to try to buy a condo in California. This was back in 2020, back during around the pandemic hype. People were trying to buy homes and bidding up the prices. So
Hey, TJ, I got to run.
yeah, me too. I got
You
some
guys-
trades. I got some trades I got to make.
All right, brother. Appreciate you guys.
All right, see you.
hey guys.
So what are you saying, Garcia?
Oh, so no, I don't have any experience as far as buying a home or anything yet. So pretty much that money that we had saved up to potentially buy our first home, that's what we started reinvested it back into the stock market. So we had initially pulled that money out, kept it in the bank, and once we realized we weren't going to be buying a home, then that's when we kind of put that money back into the Robinhood and we started, buying stocks and selling puts and calls on those. And I mean, dude, every once in a while I look at how the portfolio is stacking up against the underlying, and I'm, thankfully I'm since February 5th, before their earnings, like the big portfolio, like the one that's 100,000,
Yeah.
like gone up 111% since February. And
That
Palantir has gone up 85%. So so from 111% to 85, I'm outperforming Palantir by like 25, 26% since their earnings, like since before their Q4 earnings. So
Well, that's why I don't understand how people shit on the wheel strategy, because if you manage to keep your shares and
Yep.
you're selling passive trippers and covered calls on that underlying, you're going to get at minimum the exact same percentage that the stock's giving you. But then all your premiums are going to outperform. That's your outperformance. so that happens. That happens to me on every stock that I wheel.
yeah, and
But
I think
I just
that's
can't make it make sense to a lot of people, and I don't really try. That's the thing. It takes too much energy.
and I think that what people get hung up on is they forget that you can roll, or
Right.
they mistakenly believe that just because it technically is a loss because you're buying to close and you're selling to open in a separate contract,
Right.
they get hung up on the first step where it's like, well, you bought to close at a loss, so you lost on the trade. Well,
Right.
yeah, but stocks go up and down. They go in cycles.
Yeah, but you only lose until the next expiration date, and then it all goes to the wash if it works out for you. And
Dude, and for me, as long as I'm patient with, and I've been a lot more patient now. Like I used to not be patient with puts and calls, where I would just sell it immediately, and immediately one of them would go against me. So I would just
Right.
manage one side, and then the other one would be fine, and then I would sell the other one, and that one would go against me. Whereas now I've been practicing a little bit more patience, where I'm not selling any cash secured puts as of right now. I'm only selling some covered calls at $34, and that's bringing in extra money. So it's working, man. I'm seeing it. I'm seeing the effect of it in real time. Like I learned it from your channel and watching others, but I'm seeing it, live and in color on my portfolio.
right.
So, I hope people kind of, whenever they start thinking, oh, well, what was Palantir doing on April 19th, back when it was tanking? They can go back on my channel and go to that date and see what was I doing on April 19th. I was on the channel saying, "Yep, my cash good puts are blowing up right now. I'm just gonna wait it out, roll them out a couple of weeks." And a couple of weeks later, I was out of the hole. Those cash good puts, I came out from under them, and the portfolio started bouncing back from there.
Right.
So I'm seeing it, and now that I'm seeing the money that I'm able to make, I what is it called? I guess I don't really look at real estate with as much of an allure, as I used to. As like, oh my gosh, like I really got to get into this real estate game. It's like, man, I feel like I'm doing pretty dang good, like in the stock market right now. So
yeah, I think you're doing awesome, dude. Every time I catch one of your posts on X or whatever, it's like, you're up 2,500, you're down 2,500. I think what really impresses me the most is you've been steady with Palantir. Like you've not been wishy-washy with Palantir, and you understand that there's going to be ebbs, there's going to be flows, there's going to be peaks, there's going to be valleys, and that's what investing is. So just stay the course, Garcia, man, and I think that you're going to I'm going to look up one day and you're going to have a $250,000 portfolio, dude, you're on your way. 2 doubles away from $1 million, bro.
Yeah.
Just keep that in mind. You're 3 doubles away from $1 million. So people need to start understanding. You get to your 100,000, 100 to 2, 1 double, 2 to 4s, 2 doubles, right? 4 to 8s, 3 doubles. You're 3.5 doubles away, dude, from $1 million. It's a game of doubles, man. It's a game of doubles. You're like, well, he got 10. I'm like, okay, cool. You need 3 or 4 doubles to get to 100 grand, and you already know where you're at. It's 8 to 10 doubles, no matter where you're at. It is just, you got to find that stock that's going to double. Palantir already did that one for you. So now the question becomes, is Palantir your next double, or at some point do you have to pivot? That's where it's going to get tough for you because you're full porting, so to speak, with Palantir.
Yep. On first thought, I'm just thinking like at least till 100 a share. Like I think that's when I would start considering other stocks that might be, on the up and up or coming up, Yeah, but
dude, I've seen so many people that are really, really successful in the stock market, and dude, they made the majority of their money on less than 5 stocks.
Yep. I mean, dude, I've been watching Peter Lynch videos. I've been watching Peter Lynch videos, and Peter Lynch, he talks about like how, diversification, like if he could in his fund only hold 1 stock, he would, but legally he can't. Legally he has to diversify, and he calls it diversification. Like I have one of the accounts, it's like $16,000, and it's my worst performing portfolio, and it's because it's diversified between, Tesla, Palantir, BITX, TSOL, and it's underperforming my other 2 portfolios that are full port Palantir because the Palantir became a winning company.
Yeah, I hear you, man. Well, I got to go do husband duties. My wife's been really, really patient with me today. She knows that I'm trying to grow the YouTube thing, so shout out to my wife for being a trooper and lending me to you guys, because the day my wife says no, dude, that's it. YouTube's done. But as long as we keep getting the positive vibes, we don't deal with very much negativity on this channel, thankfully. Just really, really proud of the community that we're building here.
Yeah, it was really great meeting you guys. You guys are great. It was really, really nice to hang out with you guys in Vegas. And and I want to shout out to my wife too, because she's been supporting me. Whenever I let her know, hey, I'm gonna go on this podcast, or I'm gonna do a Spaces on Twitter and stuff, like she's fully supporting. I said, all right, go ahead, and she have her full support. So it feels good to have that.
Yeah, no, agreed, man, agreed. Well, anyway, man, I got to get rocking and rolling. This is TJ, the Wheel Deal, signing off with Garcia, Bill White, and Dallas earlier. Thanks so much for their contributions. As always, may your sky stay blue, stock screen. Peace out. God bless you guys.
Bye, guys. Bye, TJ.
Take care, brother.
Mm-hmm.